Hey, hey. All right, guys, we are on live day 2. I'm 3 minutes early. I'm 3 minutes early and I got one of my power suits on. Yes, I'm getting dressed for you guys. Hey, it's Ann McDonald, and I want you to come on live. Let me know where you are watching from. Let's get some cities in here, across the globe. Where are you watching from? I know we've got people on different continents and different time zones, and I want you to drop a comment in the chat. Let's get to know each other. Let's really steward this group powerfully, okay? And with a little bit of fun. Can we have fun today? Just let me know if you're ready. Drop a hashtag, drop the word fun in the chat, because I want to have fun today. All right, let's have some fun, okay? Building online businesses and creating courses and reaching people. Think about this for a minute. Think about the impact and the influence that you're going to grow when you steward the gifts that God has put into you in whatever realm you're in. Are you in business? Let me know in the chat. Are you in business? Are you in paper goods? Are you in design, decorating, a coach, a consultant, a nurse, a licensed therapist? What is your trade? So I want to know today what city you're watching us from, and then what your trade is. And if you're ready to have fun, I want you to drop the word fun in the chat. Okay, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Ann McDonald, and you might think I'm Italian because I'm always using my hands, but I'm not actually Italian. I'm Scotch and German. Okay, and we think there's some Far Eastern in there as well. So here's what I want to share with you today. We are going to cover, this is a pop-up challenge. Well, actually, let me give you a little bit of background. Is it okay if I give you a little bit of background on who I am and why you should listen to this? Okay, so my name's Ann McDonald. All right, my name's Ann McDonald, and I am a designer by trade. I have an actual trade skill set. So how many of you have an actual trade? Maybe you are an accountant, a CPA, a bookkeeper, a statistician, an engineer, a contractor, a nurse. You have an actual trade skill set. Okay, let me know in the chat if you've got that. So I came into this whole online business space because I had a business in my trade, right? How many of you have a business in your trade? Maybe you're a jewelry designer. I know Sumi designs jewelry. Like maybe you have something in that space, right? Pam is on, like Pam's got, she's got a trade as a coach. She's also got vocational ministry as a trade. So I came into this online space in 2008 because I had an interior design business that was draining the life out of me. Okay, let me know. Have any of you ever had your job or your business, literally you feel like it's taking the lifeblood out of you? Have you ever had that? Well, that's where I was in 2008. Okay. I looked great on paper, team. Like I had press, I had the whole 9 yards, and I was exhausted. Okay. I was just flipping done. Okay. Anybody ever been in that place? So I had this friend, he's a vocal coach down in LA, and he's like, Ann, kind of leaning in, like, you got to try this online thing. Right. Anybody ever had, like, when you first learned about online business, somebody kind of leans in almost like they don't want to share it. And I'm like, okay, awesome. I'll try it. And I kind of thought, no big deal. I got this. Okay. Can we have a quick moment on like getting rid of pride? So I was like, awesome. I got this. Well, I did not got it. Okay. I tried this. I tried that. I tried this. I tried that. I tried this. And I tried that. And it was 5 years of, I'm not going to use the word hell, but it was 5 years of really deep personal agita. Is that a fair word? Okay. So when I finally broke through, and the reason I'm so passionate about training you on creating your 6-figure signature course, right in the chat, I have, yes, we're going to future pace ourselves on this. Right in the chat, I have a 6-figure signature course. I want to see, right? Lisa Marie Swanson is on. I want you guys to start writing in the chat. I have a 6-figure signature course. Okay. So the whole thing broke through for me in 2013 when I created a little course called Decorate Like a Pro. It's called Decorate Like a Pro. And it was $495, right? Not exactly going to make my house payment at the time, right? It wasn't like this big, massive breakthrough, okay? But what it did do, how many of you have ever heard the word repeat? Right? Awesome, Lisa. I love it. I have a 6-figure signature course. Lisa Swanson, that's awesome. So if you've ever heard the word repeat, okay, so that little course that I created for $495, I was actually able to sell using a webinar on repeat. Okay. So the first time I did that, and I had a group of like, I didn't have like 100 people, I had 19 people on a webinar. 19. Okay. The first time I was able to do that, I made just under $5,000. And you would have thought that I had just become a billionaire. Like, I was like, I got it. I got it. And my bookkeeper for my design business, she was like, I don't know what this line item is here, but you need to do more of that. And I was like, I agree. So that's why I'm so passionate about empowering you. Just say, I will be empowered to create an online signature course. Now, can I tell you something? They out there will tell you that it's not possible. They will tell you that it's too hard. They will even tell you that you're stupid or dumb or like, ew, for doing that. Okay. Has anybody ever dealt with that where you get super excited about you're going to launch or leverage the online space and you share it with somebody and they're like, well, that's dumb. Well, that'll never work. Well, that'll this and that'll that. And can't believe you're spending time and money on that. Like, can I just get, can you guys feel how fired up I am about this? Okay. If you don't know why I'm fired up about this, go back and watch day 1. Okay, I'm not going to repeat myself, but go back and watch day 1. Like, I am doing this what we're doing right here is a pop-up challenge that I literally decided to do after a phone call. And I was like, enough already. We're going to get this. We're going to get you guys to a place where you can figure it out and you can do it. Okay. So we're going to ditch the naysayers, right? And we're going to be completely present. Okay. Is that cool? Is that cool? Okay, awesome. Now, here's what I want to know from some of you in the chat. After yesterday, 2 things. 1, do you have any takeaways? Did you get any ahas from yesterday's time together? Let me know in the chat. What were some of your takeaways from yesterday? Okay, I'm live. We are live in this group. I am here for about 45 minutes today. And I want to make sure, like I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I've got up this morning and I was like, I am putting on my like designer suits today and this week, because I want you to understand that this is real. Okay. What we're the skill set that we're covering this week in this challenge is a real and present skill set. Okay. So let me know in the chat what some of your takeaways were. Now, just to encourage you, just to help you with some of the naysayers, whether they're in your own head, your own heart, your own mouth, maybe you've been speaking stuff you shouldn't have been speaking. All right. Can I get a witness on that one? Anybody have a negative day and you're like, this sucks, this isn't going to work, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Here's what I want to tell you. So Patrick and I have a mastermind program. We actually have 2 different levels of a mastermind, well, 3 different levels technically, but our titanium mastermind is a $25,000 mastermind. And once a quarter, they come together as a group and we gather. Okay. And 2 masterminds ago, I actually brought an article from UC Berkeley. Somebody write in the chat, UC Berkeley. Okay. UC Berkeley. Okay. Now, UC Berkeley is a pretty liberal institution. Would we agree? Right. So Patrick and I both went to UC Berkeley. Right. was the best school I could get into. It's actually a great institution, right? There's this beautiful undercurrent at UC Berkeley that's just actually really beautiful and actually has the blessing of God on it. But we'll talk about that another time. So this article talked about the online marketplace being a $700 billion market by, was it 2026, Patrick? 2028.
Oh, well,
That one, 2026. There's another artist. Can we just write that in the chat? 700 BN. That means 700 billion. Okay. Billion. Just for context, the NFL, anybody ever heard of that little organization called the NFL? Right? The NFL is only 70 billion. The online marketplace that I am trying, I'm like, come on, team, let's get you in the game, is 10 times at least the size of the NFL. Like, can we just have a minute here? So the next time they tell you you're wasting your time, or they tell you that, no, right? Meanwhile, they've just spent $500 on a jersey, right, to go to a game. You're like, well, I make $500 per course, right? And I could sell that thing on repeat. Okay. I just give that to you for some context. Now, just this past week, we saw another article that said it was going to be a $1 trillion business by 2028. Do you and I think that if we could leverage even 0.00001% of that business for our skill set as either the host, producer, or the expert, that maybe there's enough lifeblood in this continuing marketplace to actually be worth our focus? Yes or no? Okay. Yes or no? All right. Now, just to drive this point home a little bit more, I'm married to Mr. Smarty Pants over here. He's sitting right there. He's not on camera today with me. There's his hand. He's monitoring the comments. Patrick spent 25 plus years on Wall Street, like on Wall Street, not like in operations or not like a year and a half in some subcategory of Wall Street, but like Wall Street. New York City proper twice, Beverly Hills, the San Francisco Bay Area. That's where we lived, team. Okay. He transacted multiple hundreds of billions of dollars in his job on Wall Street. Okay. Like legit. This man wouldn't give me the time of day in 2013. Is that true, Patrick? Can I get a thumbs up? He thought I was nuts in 2008 to 2013. He's like, you are wasting your time. That's like no big deal. It's not like, what's the big woo woo? Okay. Guess what, team? Guess what, team? Where's his focus now? Okay. So I guess what I want to share with you is some of the brightest minds in the marketplaces are going, they're saying, they may not be talking about it, but they are certainly putting their money, their effort, and their attention towards what you and I are talking about today in our little Facebook group of 180 people. Okay. So just give yourselves a round of applause for being here. Okay. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here. So I just see Patrick says, I was the worst. I want you to write, I am now the best in the chat. I am now the best. All right. So let's do, are we excited now? Are we like, I want you guys to be like standing up, like, woohoo, like this is going to be like Talk Back Signature Course Church. Okay. Like I'm going to get my preach on. I'm going to get my pastor on. All right. So yesterday, what did we talk about? So I am now in this space where not only do I create lifestyle businesses with courses as like the foundation stone for the model, I help other people to do it. I train people who are like super high level consultant type people and angel investor type people. And I have a heart towards those of us who are just getting started. Why? Because that's where I was. And I was like, I don't even know how to turn my computer on. Like, I don't even know what's Zoom. How do you do a live? Okay. So I have this empathy and this urgency to help people. Okay. Because I know I almost quit. All right. I know that I almost quit just before the breakthrough. All right. So let's talk about it. The title of this pop-up challenge for you is 6-figure signature course. Okay, write that in the chat. 6-figure signature course. Yesterday, I asked you to tell me what the price of your course was and how much money you wanted to make. Okay, what the price of your course was and how much money you wanted to make each month from selling your course. Okay, so Kim says, or Darmish yesterday said he wanted to make $10,000 and he wanted to price his course at $997. That's a great model. If you don't know where to start, I would say start your course at $495, $995, or $997 and set a goal of $2,000 to $10,000 as your overarching goal. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. I love it. Okay, Pat just wrote in the chat, 0.0001% of 1 trillion is $1 million. Who would like to have a $1 million signature course, right? Who would like to have a $1 million signature course? Pretty cool. Can I just say something? It's super fun. Okay, but let's get you to 6 figures first. All right, so yesterday we talked about this process. So what are the 3 types of signature courses? The only 3 types that you can actually do, right? The only 3 types of signature courses that you can actually do, right? What are they? Pam wrote it in the chat earlier. It's host, producer, or expert. Now, before we move on from this, I want to drive something home, okay? Just say Ann's going to drive this home for a minute, all right? Ann's going to drive this home because if you don't get this foundation stone and you don't believe me and you're like, yeah, I got it. You won't make any money. Can I have a minute? Okay. You won't make any money if you don't get a hold of this. Okay. How many of you have ever had a job where you had to wear a uniform? Has anybody ever had a job besides me where you had to wear a uniform? Okay. Doctors wear uniforms, nurses wear uniforms, even judges wear uniforms, right? Depending on what kind of a judge you are, you have the different robes, right? Sizzler, Kim Smith, awesome Sizzler, right? I worked at JCPenney, and when I started, I worked for Dr. Pepper. So guess what my uniform was? I had a Dr. Pepper uniform, okay? So Benihana, awesome, right? So you wear a uniform. All right. I have been a uniform girl, right? Jennifer Tate. Thank you. Right. Like there's literally no shame in uniforms, but I want to use the uniform as an example to drive home what we talked about yesterday. So I want you to think in terms of host, producer, and expert as 3 uniforms that you must wear when you are creating your 6-figure signature course. Okay. Bennigan's, darn the autocorrect, Kim Smith, that's all good. Okay. So let me ask you a question. So I was a Dr. Pepper. I had to wear a Dr. Pepper uniform when I got my very first job. I gave samples out at the mall. That was my big job, right? But I had to wear a Dr. Pepper t-shirt, Dr. Pepper hats, Dr. Pepper shorts, and like, that's a story for another time, but that was my uniform. Okay. Now, can you imagine if I put on the Dr. Pepper uniform, but then I gave out Coca-Cola samples or 7-Up samples? Like that would not fly. People would be like, what's going on? Why you're in a Dr. Pepper uniform? Why are you giving out samples of 7-Up? Right? Well, in the same way, if Kim Smith, I'm just going to use you because I'm seeing your comment right here. You are working at Bennigan's. So you got your Bennigan's uniform on, right? And you try to sell something from, I don't know, Arby's, right? People are going to be like, something's not right. Like there's a disconnect. And that's what happens a lot. Let me know one in the chat if you guys are getting this. One in the chat if you're getting it. Because what happens a lot of times is we don't actually put on our uniform, right? Like I have this jacket on, I can take the jacket off or I can put it on. What I want you to do is I want you to put on the uniform of either host, producer, or expert, okay? And here's the key. I don't want you to take off this uniform until you've made at least 6 figures with your signature course, okay? Because otherwise, you're going to start to confuse people, okay? You're going to start to, people are going to be like, is she doing that or is she doing that? What's she doing, okay? So I have businesses that you guys don't know anything about in the online space. Do you know why you don't know anything about them? Because if I tried to put on that uniform publicly with my face, people would be confused. They'd be like, is she selling templates to create courses? Is she selling this? Is she like, what is her uniform? Okay. So how many of you are starting to see where maybe you haven't been as congruent as you needed to be to sell your courses, right? Great question, Kim, because you're not the target audience. Well, for a lot of you who know me kind of personally as a mentor or as a coach or as someone who trains on signature courses, if I started like sharing with you all of our other businesses, like we have real estate business, we have information products in that space, we have all these other things that would be like, wait, why would I do that? Or I don't understand. Okay. But yes, ultimately it's because you're not the target audience of those particular businesses. Okay. All right. So do you have that revelation? If you have it, I want you to write in the chat, what are you? I want you to say it out loud and say, I am the expert. And then I want you to tell me what you're the expert in. Okay. I am an expert in creating flagship signature courses that people can use to give away, sell, or use as investor materials. That's what I do. I coach it, I mentor it, I train on it, and I mastermind it. And we help people build lifestyle businesses in the online space using signature online courses. That's it. Okay. We literally, like, get a hold of this for a second. We literally have people as diverse as stay-at-home moms, former professional athletes, like in the NFL, to people who are high-level financial consultants. All of them across the spectrum come to me to learn how to create signature flagship courses for their online lifestyle businesses. That's it. All right, let's talk about some of these. Kim Smith is an expert paper crafter. And let me tell you something, she is the real deal. So let's give it up for Kim. Okay. Jill Dinko. Jill is an expert family businesses in transition. She's a consultant to family businesses in transition. She's an expert in that. And she is, right? Follow her on Instagram, Family Business Transitions. Okay. Let's give it up for Jill. Okay. I see Pam. Pam is an expert in creating transformational living courses for women. And here's the thing, she is, right? She is. Okay. So let's give it up for Pam. Okay. Right. Yesterday, I shared this with you. What gets celebrated gets replicated. And if you're not celebrating, then it's not going to duplicate. So that's why I ask you to give it up for Pam, Kim, Jill. All right. Jennifer Tate, I want to know what you're an expert in. Judy, I want to know what you're an expert in. Whoever else is watching, take the risk. This is the place to take the risk and articulate. Remember, I asked you, okay, let's have a minute, time out for a second. I asked you to write in the chat, I have a 6-figure signature course. Now, I don't think all of you actually, if I looked at your bank account right now, you'd have that. But I'm asking you to call those things that are not as if they are. That's Bible, okay? That's like I'm not going to argue with the word of God. The word of God says it, you're going to do it. Okay, let's just have some fun here, right? God's like, just tell me, call it forth. So let's go ahead and call it forth, right? And then these 3 days, we're going to get you to a place where you can actually leverage this. Sound good? All right. One, if we're having fun, we got to have fun. If we're not having fun, we're not going to do this. Okay. I have a 6-figure course. Thank you, Kimberly. Okay. Awesome. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about today, yesterday we talked about the only 3 ways that you can do this as a host, a producer, or an expert. All right. Today, I want to talk to you, and I want you to take out that beautiful new notebook that I asked you to buy yesterday. If you didn't buy it yesterday, buy it today. Go back, watch the replay, take notes in your signature course notebook. Okay. Take notes in your signature course notebook. I don't care if it's fancy. I don't care if it's cheap, but you got to have something that is separate and set aside. Because let me ask you a real-time question. If you actually believed that what you're learning about yesterday, today, and tomorrow will generate 6 figures, do you think you'd have a notebook that was actually set aside so you could go back to it? Right? So I want to encourage you, get the notebook, because it will help you seal the belief, right? Okay. So there is a system that I use that I have been using since like my Decorate Like a Pro days. Okay. I want you to write down these letters. A, T, M. A, T, M. Okay. Now, you are either the host, the producer, or the expert. So I want you to kind of put on your uniform, your expert uniform. I think most of us in here start off as experts. All right. If you're a kindergarten expert, you can teach a preschool expert. Okay. So we've got our expert jackets on. Now, there are 3 steps that are mandatory for you to hit 6 figures. Okay. Do you want to know what those 3 steps are? Okay. 3 steps. Now, actually, before I tell you the 3 steps, have any of you tried to make a course and you spent a lot of time making a course and it didn't sell? You're like, I spent a year making a super expensive course and it didn't sell. Nobody bought it. Have you ever been in that space? Anybody besides me? Okay. Let me know, one in the chat, if you've ever made a course before, but it kind of didn't sell very well. Okay. Living Well with Natural Solutions and Aromatherapy. Okay. Thank you, Judy. Okay. So you're in that space where you've actually created and you've given birth to this baby, and you're like taking your baby to the world, and the world's like, I don't want your baby. I don't want it. Like, ew, ugly. Okay. And what happens to your heart? Your heart's like, well, I'm going back to hide. Like, I'm not playing here anymore. I'm going to go find a new playground. Okay. And you quit. Like, stop quitting. I don't know who that's for, but stop quitting. Okay. Here's the system. A, what are you going to do? You're going to ask. Okay. So the ATMs method is the same method that I have been using since I finally had my breakthrough in 2013. All right. You have likely heard me talk about it before, but I want to give you a new spin on it. Okay. So you're going to ask your customer base, your future customers, or you're going to ask Google Trends or Google Research. You're going to ask them, what do you want to learn? Put that in the chat. Okay. Quick story to illustrate this point. How many of you have ever been to a Bennigan's, right? Or a Dr. Pepper stand, or a Starbucks, or a restaurant? How many of you have ever been to a restaurant before? Okay. Can you imagine if you went into the restaurant, right? And the restaurant was like, here's your food. Pay me for it. Or you went into Starbucks and they're like, here's your coffee that you don't like. And it's got this on it and this on it. Here's your coffee. Pay for it. And you're like, I didn't come for coffee today. I actually wanted a tea today. I wanted tea and a scone, right? So in the same way, when you and I tried to be silly on that, right? It's like no soup for you, right? The Seinfeld episode. In the same way, when you and I create courses in a vacuum, and we haven't actually asked the market, we haven't asked our clients, our potential clients, what they actually want to learn, then it's kind of like shoving food down a baby's throat who doesn't want to eat. Okay. Right? Was anybody else had a family where it was like you had to be a member of the Clean Plate Club? Stupidest thing of the 70s, right? I'm like convinced there's several of us who had weight problems because we're like the Clean Plate Club. It's awful, right? So in the same way, the A stands for, I'm trying to make it a little A here, right? The A stands for asking your clients or asking the marketplace, what do you want to learn? Okay. Now, there's a flip side to that coin. The flip side to that A is actually assessing your ability. So write that in the chat, right? Yes, 8 kids, we were scavengers. Okay, Kim, you get it. Right? Like, you get it. So I want you to write the A. Like this is a critical piece. Now that you've got your uniform on as an expert and you understand that you're not going to take the expert uniform off until you've hit at least 6, if not 7 figures. Okay. Because once you hit 6, then you're all, the only difference between making 6 figures with your signature course and making 7 figures with your signature course is actually your reach. Okay. It's your audience reach and your systems. Okay. The hardest money that you're going to make, which I'm trying to make super easy for you, is $0 to $100,000. Okay. I want to make this easy for you. And there are all these things. It's not your fault. Nobody has been telling you. Okay. Look at me. One of the reasons I'm so passionate about this is that nobody tells us, right? I had to figure it out the hard way. I don't want you having to figure this out the hard way. Okay. Get congruent in your decision about whether you're the host, the producer, or the expert. Okay. That's the first thing. The second thing is we must ask our audience or the marketplace what they want to learn. What will they pay for? Okay. Now I have a whole system that I actually teach our mastermind clients on how to actually find it. Even if you don't have any clients, you're like, Ann, I don't have anybody to actually ask, right? Like I don't have anybody. So we have a whole system that we actually train our mastermind on how to actually find out what does the market actually want. Okay. The second part of that though, is you must take an accurate assessment of your abilities. Okay. Now, we have a client. Her name is Markel. Markel's not on right now. Was she earlier? Okay. So Markel actually went through this exercise with us at one of our masterminds. Markel is in our titanium mastermind. She's coached Olympic swimmers. She is like at the top of her game. Okay. But I want to share a story with you because one of the things that Markel originally struggled with, I think she'd be okay if I told you this, was her pricing model. Okay. How many of you have ever felt like you couldn't charge enough? Jennifer Tate, Judy, right? Kim, have you ever felt like Pam, like you couldn't charge enough? Like you really wanted to be able to charge $9.97, but you were charging $47, right? Or you're like trying to give it away for $27, right, Kim? Like, right? Kim has a bunch of courses on Udemy and other platforms where the prices are like, $7, $9, $19, right? But that what you carry is actually really valuable. So one of the exercises that we did with Markel, and again, this was at our mastermind, and I just want to give this gift to you, is we had Markel write down everything that she had done and learned in order to have the expertise that she had. right? So Jennifer Tate, for you, that would be all your certifications, all your nursing programs, right? Mona, for all the stuff for you, it would be all that. I know, Mona, you took a really high level course, a multi-year certification course. It would be the cost of all of that, okay? And what we do that exercise, just tap yourself and say, to help me believe, okay? Just put to help me believe, right? To help me believe, all right? Put a post out on social media earlier today. And it was, you need to have people who will celebrate you and who will challenge you. And if you're not being celebrated and challenged, you need to change the rooms you're in. Some of all y'all, and I'm going to lean in and get a little quiet on this because I really want you to get a hold of this nugget. Some of you are selling to the wrong people and they just don't appreciate what you carry. Okay. Let me know one in the chat if that resonates. Okay. Some of you are selling to the wrong people. Some of you are selling the wrong product. Okay. So there are a couple of different tweaks that asking the client base that has money what they want to learn from you, and then assessing accurately your abilities. Most of you are charging too little. Can I just be really blunt? Is it okay if I just do like the challenge bit a little bit? I throw the challenge flags to you. Okay. Most of you are charging too little. All right. So I want to know in in the chat what your price point is again for your signature course. Okay. Now, remember, yesterday I shared this. Does anybody remember what the range of my signature courses is for all my different brands? Do you know I have one course that's $47? It's a holiday decor stress-free holiday home challenge. It is $47. We have a podcast. We have a physical product that we sell for more. All right, great. We've got Pam at $2,000. Kim Smith, $497. Kim, I love that price point for you. And Pam, I love that price point for you too. Okay. So we have price points from $47 to $35,000. Okay. You can imagine those are two different audiences, right? Okay. So that's the A. What's the A? It's ask and assess. Ask, assess, and then account. Like assess and account for your ability. Okay. What's in your hand? Let's take an accurate assessment. All right. Does everybody get that? That's the first part of the system. Okay. And like I said, in our mastermind and in our other programs, we have literal worksheets that you can work through to come to this place of belief. Okay. Belief. Right. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Jennifer. I see that. I see those comments. All right. The next one, and this is where a lot of people get hung up. It's the T. I want you to write this in the chat. Train from truth. Train from truth. Okay. Now, how many of you have ever heard the phrase, and if you've heard it, please write it in the chat. Truth will set you free. Truth will set you free. Okay. Truth will set you free. All right. Real talk. This is a moment of assessment with Ann. Do we have any people pleasers or formal people pleasers in the group? Do we have any former people pleasers in the group? One if yes, two if no. Okay. Because here's the thing about training from truth. All right, Iris, thank you for the admission. All right. Right. But when we deal in truth, we can actually be set free. Okay. Jennifer Tate. I love it. I love the emoji. Okay. Right. So here's what I want to tell you about training from truth. In my design product, Decorate Like a Pro, I basically told them the truth. I was like, your house is ugly and it's working against you. And if you want to learn how to make your spaces and places work for you, then this is the course for you. Okay. Now, if I hadn't told them the truth, they wouldn't have trusted me. Right? It would have just been like this: too much sugar, too much sweet, too much, not enough depth. Let me know, smiley face. Let's use a smiley face if you get what I'm talking about. Okay. So the tagline for my first product that broke through was this: spaces and places either move you forward or hold you back. Okay. And most of yours are holding you back. Not exactly what you would say to somebody in polite company, except I want them to take the course so they can change their life. Okay. So here's what I want you to do right now. Well, I get a sip of coffee because apparently I'm being delivered from something. No. I'll take it right here. Hold on. I want you to write in the chat something that is truth about what you carry that most people don't want to hear. Yeah, no false humility. Let me tell you something about, you want me to go first? Most of your signature courses suck. That's why nobody's buying them. That's pretty strong, right? Most of them stink. You don't have an opinion. You're not strong enough. Did I give you an example, Jennifer? The reason your signature courses aren't selling is because you didn't ask people, and the construction and the structure sucks, and you're making people work. And signature courses should be fun. Okay. People should literally be like lapping up. Okay. Now, am I a mean person? I don't think I'm a mean person, right? But the truth, if you will learn to train from truth, everything changes. Awesome. Kimberly Smith, you purchased a Brother Scan and Cut and you're scared to take it out of the box because that thing is probably very expensive, right? You're like, I don't know, right? Okay. Jill Dinko, most issues family businesses have when transitioning are from people not being adaptable, right? Now, Jill, say it even stronger. Okay. Say it even stronger. All right. Here's the thing. Can you imagine if you had something that needed to be removed from your body because it was unhealthy, and you went to the doctor and you paid the doctor good money, and he's like, yeah, you're all good. It's okay. There's this little thing here, but it's not too bad. But what he really needs to say is, hey, yo, that thing, we need to cut that thing out today. Okay. Who are you going to respect and go back to? Which doctor? Dr. A, oh, everything looks fine. It's all good. There's no issue. There's a little thing here, but no big deal. It'll be fine. Versus, right, Dr. B, he's like, hey, that thing right there, we got to cut that out today. Okay, right? You get it? Get the difference? So when I say train from truth, I'm not like, oh, it's sunny outside. It's always sunny in Philadelphia or whatever it is, right? You want Dr. B, right, Kim? Well, in the same way, you're going to be, just say, I'm going to be Dr. B. Okay. I'm going to be Dr. B. So I want you to write down, okay, let's take another look at these. Okay. So let's take another look at these. So Jill Dinko, I asked you to write that more forcefully. Okay, you have to adapt successfully to transition your family business. If you stay trapped in the past, you limit its future. All right, how's that? Better, Jill. Okay, better. I want you to be a little more, okay. It could be something as blunt as, it's probably your fault it's not working. Are you willing to look at that and change? Like, I mean, when Patrick and I go to meet with our financial advisor and they're like, that was a dumb decision, do that. Okay. So it could be something as simple as, why is your family business not transitioning to the next generation? It's probably your fault. Do you want to know why? Yes or no? Okay. So when I say train from truth, again, just say, Anne's not trying to be mean. Okay. Anne's not trying to be mean. But what I love about what Kim's shared, Kim, can I go back to your comment? Can you just go back so I can see Kim's comment? What Kim shared is specific to her client and to her industry, right? A brother scan and cut. Kim, can you let me know in the chat, how much is a brother scan and cut? Is it pretty expensive, right? It's probably pretty expensive. So Kim's going straight to the heart of the matter. They're like, I got a paper business, and maybe I'm not making any money yet, but I just invested this whole bunch of money on my business credit card in this machine, and I'm afraid to take it out of the box. Okay, there you go, $300 to $600, right? And they're thinking, I'm selling products for $10. I got to sell like all these products, right? Am I right, Kim? I mean, so what I love about that example is she knows her audience. She knows they're a little afraid to touch that thing, right? So what you want to do when you train from truth in your 6-figure signature course, somebody write in the chat, 6-figure signature courses tell the truth. Okay. Tell the truth. 6-figure signature courses tell our clients the truth, because we want to be Dr. B. We don't want to be Dr. Sunshine. Okay. We're happy to get them to sunshine, but if they already had the sunshine, they'd already be there. They wouldn't need your course. Okay. Tell the truth. All right, Pam, you want your life to change for the better. I can show you how, but it's not going to work until you change. So here's what's interesting, right? 6-figure signature courses tell the truth. Thank you, Marilyn. I really appreciate that. Okay. So that's the T part. Let me know one in the chat if you're getting the T part. Okay. That's the train from truth. In the ATM's method, that's the train from truth, right? The M, and then we're going to wrap up for today, because I want you to take your notebook, and what do I want you to do? I want you to make some notes about what we talked about today. Asking the marketplace, what do you want to buy from me? Right? Because we're not going to shove food down somebody's mouth that they don't want to eat. We're going to make it like a beautiful restaurant experience where they want to pay us 5-star prices. Okay. Dharmesh, where they want to pay you $997. And it's super easy for you to sell 10 in a month. Like, it's no big deal. That's a no brainer for you for what you carry. Like, that is easy. All right. So what we want to do is understand where we're missing it. So the first one is we're going to ask the market, we're going to assess our ability, we're going to account for our ability. The second T is the in the ATM's method is we're going to train from truth. Okay. The third one, and can I just lean in for a minute and have a moment? Okay. How many of all y'all have an A+ marketing system? Probably not, right? Okay. So the M is market to monetize. Okay. Now, money is not a bad word. Okay. Money is not a bad word. If money was bad, Jesus himself would never have touched it. Okay. It's amoral. It's neutral. It's the person who uses the money that determines if it's for good or for bad. Okay. So the M stands for marketing to monetize. And tomorrow, I'm going to unpack that with you. Okay. Now, a couple of our clients who are on with us right now, Jill Dinko, Lisa Swanson, Marilyn, Jill, Iris, Lisa, Marilyn, they have actually started to implement what I'm going to share with you tomorrow. Okay. So let me ask you a question. As we wrap up today, I want to know at least one takeaway that you've gotten from today. At least one takeaway, right? I put on my power suit today for you. I've got a bunch of these power suits that when I work in the design industry, it's boucle. Yes. When I work as a luxury designer, I'm always in stuff like this. I got my suit, my pants, my, cute little skirts, like all of it. Awesome. So Kim, the ATM's method. Now, who would like their own personal ATM? Okay. right? Who wants an ATM, right? Where you put something in and you push some buttons and it spits out some good resource. Okay. Now you understand. Okay, Pam, this is awesome. So let's give it up to Kim for the ATM. Pam, she understands what train from truth means, right? Come on, let's give it up for Pam. Remember, why do we celebrate? Because what gets celebrated gets replicated. And if you get a revelation on this process, can I just share with you? Like, do you know why we have 6-figure days? Because we understand the system. And all we've done is we've gotten out of our own head and we take the system and we plug it in. We plug it into real estate. We plug it into meditations. We plug it into template businesses. We plug it into health businesses. We simply plug it in. Okay. And that's what I want to give to you. Fair? All right. Jill, truth, 6-figure courses tell the truth. All right. Here's your homework for tonight. Go back, watch the replay. Please let this you can put it on fast speed. You guys know what the video speed enhancer is? I'll drop a link in the chat after this is all done. You get this video speed enhancer and you can watch the videos back on fast time. It's a game changer. But I want this revelation to sink in because it's not complicated, but it is a new realm. Okay. It is a new realm. All right. So thank you, team, for being on today. So your homework is go back, watch the replay, take notes, and invite some friends into this group. Let's get some more people into this group so that we can saturate the marketplace with excellence and goodness, right? Instead of junk. We don't want junk courses. We don't want junk food. We want excellence and goodness. All right. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. We love you. Bye.